Hi everyone. In this video, I am going to talk about schedules. It's going to be a short one, but I just feel like it needs to be said because I am a type A personality, very much into the lists and all of the things, right? So when I became a homeschool mom, I felt like I needed to have everything listed out. I needed to have times, like I was back in the brick and mortar school building teaching and we had reading from this section of time in math and it just would go like in order in a specified way. Then very early on into my homeschool journey, I realized that that was not very freeing, and I became kind of like a Nazi with the clock and managing our time, and it just wasn't very good for what I was going for. So I would encourage you, if you feel like your schedule's not working, if whatever you're doing is not working, that you revisit that. So the question becomes to schedule or not to schedule. It really depends on lots of things. It depends on your personality, how you operate, your kids' personality, how they learn the best, and whether or not having a schedule is encouraging or stressful. Because as a homeschool mom, you're going to have enough stress in your life. You don't need your schedule to just add to the pile, right? So I like to schedule mine in what I call like a kind of checklist schedule. So we get to it when we get to it kind of mentality, because I have littles and I never know when meltdowns are happening or when I need to stop and change a diaper, or if just life happens, right? A delivery comes and we need to tend to that. So I just like having a checklist of things that I want to accomplish on a specific day or a specific time of the week. We do certain things towards the beginning of the week, and then we meet for our homeschool group at the end of the week. So there's certain things that I want to get accomplished before we have our meeting. You could operate under the time schedule if that works for your family and if that's helpful for you. Maybe you need to assign a specific period of time for math, and maybe it's going to take 30 minutes, and you say that's from 9 to 9:30, and then you assign specific times where there's going to be brain breaks or playtime, or maybe you stop and do some wiggle stretches or yoga or whatever. Maybe that schedule works for you and you just assign certain times. If you have older kids and you're trying to teach them to be more self-sufficient, that might be a great place to start, getting them a schedule and having them go through and make sure that they've completed their reading assignment by 10 o'clock and their math assignment by 11, or however you want to do it. So it just kind of depends on where you are in your season. Again, I have littles, so the specific times is not working for me right now as much as I would like for it to. So the checklist is working, and then we just get to things as we can, and there's always grace for when we can't get to them at all. Another idea is to alternate. So when I taught elementary school in school, I hated that science and social studies was always scheduled at the end of the day. In our schedule, it was normally like the last 20 minutes of the day, which also included all the special things, right, they do at the end of the day, and packing up and getting ready to go. So usually I had about maybe 5 to 10 minutes for science or history, if that, because that's just how life happens. We would be finishing up lessons from the day, and I just hated it. So another idea, if you feel like science and history and other things that aren't reading and math are getting pushed off to the end of the day, or you're just not doing them, is assigning certain days and not trying to accomplish everything in one day. So maybe you want to pick Monday and Wednesday to do a science lesson, and maybe Tuesday, Thursday you do a history, and Friday you do something fun, silly, or catch up on the week. Just alternating days kind of gives you a little bit more wiggle room, but it also ensures that you're going to cover what you want to cover for your homeschool routine and curriculum and whatever it is that you're using. I also want to encourage you just to be open to change. We live in so many different seasons, and I am in the season of the littles right now where there's just a lot going on, and sometimes we don't get through a full lesson, and that's okay. And sometimes everybody's in a great mood and we just fly through school and we have a ton of free time on our hands. It's just lots of different changes and lots of things going on, right? So the seasons do matter in life, and you just have to give yourself grace, and don't be afraid to stop and adjust if something's not working. So if you're like me and started with this time schedule and it's not working and it's stressing you out and it's just not happening with the way you want it to, just stop and readjust and make some changes. My next video, I'm going to talk about some strategies for writing, and then the video after that, I'm going to talk about more of making changes. So I hope that this was encouraging for you. If you are the planner type person and you want kind of like a overview or like a big picture kind of plan, I've discovered that planning by the month is much more feasible for me at this stage in my life, and it helps me to really focus on certain things. We do hymns a certain month, specific hymns we work on each month, and fun stuff like that. So it just keeps me organized. And if that sounds like something that you would love to have to grab for yourself, just put planner in the comments and I will get you the information for that. I hope this video gave you some value.